Now, when we got married, his name wasn't Ian, and he wasn't my husband. And we've had a lot of changes in our lives, but we've, gone through it and come out the other side even better. And I think that my husband is a wonderful person and will make a wonderful county coroner. And I don't really have too much else to say because I don't want to spoil his stuff. So without further ado, here's my husband, Ian Dent, for county coroner.
Hello, can you hear me? Good, because I can hear myself, so you have to bear with me. My speech is on my phone. I need bifocals, so. Good evening, my name is Ian Dent, and I am running to be the next Randolph County Coroner. I'm a licensed, certified home health aide, and I work as a medical scheduler for a home health agency in Winchester. I attended Ivy Tech and majored in administrative medical assisting. I've been with my spouse Alexis for 19 years. We've been married for 13, and we have 2 small children in the bouncy house over there together, and I have 2 adult children from my previous marriage. Aside from an 8-year stint that we were living in Indy, I have lived in Winchester since 1995. Upon returning 4 years ago when we bought our house here, I noticed that while the town looked pretty much the same, there were the same houses with the same paint jobs, the same tidy landscaping from the house down the road. In more important ways, change had started to come to Randolph County. Diversity was beginning to take hold. There were more people of color, more openly gay families, more people willing to publicly proclaim their support of inclusion and progressive ideals. So when Bart approached me about running, I was hopeful, but I was more than a little nervous. I don't have any experience in the realm of politics, aside from maybe running for class secretary in 6th or 7th grade. I'm a medical professional, and while those worlds occasionally intersect, in my case, the closest they ever get is listening to the aides and nurses in my office discussing current events. But as I gave the thought of running more consideration and looked into what it would take, I realized that not only was this something that I could do, it was the right thing to do. Now, as we all know, all politics, especially probably local politics, are steeped in tradition. In fact, I'd say the only people more resistant to change than politicians are medical professionals. When something has always worked, we tend to stick to it in the belief that it will continue to work in the future. But sometimes the things that seemed so certain in the past start to look like much less of a sure thing in the bright light of the present. Assumptions we've long held about how things should be done and who is able to do them begin to seem outdated and in some cases hurtful. That's why when Bart asked me to run, I had to re-examine my own assumptions about who could or should run for office, even here in Randolph County. I had to step back and ask myself why my being transgender could be seen as a reason against me running instead of as a reason for me to run. Because after all, isn't this the United States of America with liberty and justice for all? So I decided that while I might have to be the first transgender person to run for office in this county, and only one of a handful to run for office throughout the United States, I'm determined that I won't be the last. As your county coroner, I believe I can bring a new perspective to the job, and that my personal history will help me with a part of the job of coroner that is all too frequently missing: compassion. Too often, people are othered. They're viewed as their job, as their gender, as their orientation, as their socioeconomic status, as their mental health state, as their disease. Some we mourn, while others are derided in their death and judged by how they lived and ultimately how they passed. A good example of that comes with the opioid epidemic that has touched all of us locally. They are seen as addicts first and people second. Everyone has a family member that struggles with addiction or had struggled with it in the past. I want to treat the deceased people that struggle with addiction as if they were my family member. I want them to receive dignity and reverence and be treated like a human with hobbies and hopes and favorite TV shows. I want you to rest assured that your loved one who passed on will be seen as a faceted human, someone who enjoyed Minecraft and true crime, or loved cheesy Hallmark Christmas movies and photography, or really just loved their kids and their dog and just had an illness they succumbed to. We don't shame people who die from cancer. Why do we shame people who die from addiction? Why are neurological and mental illnesses treated like a moral failing instead of a medical disease? I will not allow your loved ones, your cousins that you played in the sprinkler with as kids, to be treated callously and casually in one of their last human interactions. I will give them the respect and dignity and professionalism we all deserve as humans. I will bring change in the form of empathy, patience, love, and compassion to the position of coroner, and I hope you all will join me. Thank you.